Oh, there
Oh
we go.
my God, there we are.
Oh my goodness. Livestream knows how StreamYard knows how to build the suspense.
Yeah, there was a lot of anticipation going on, folks.
Right, yeah.
We weren't sure if we were coming on or not.
Yeah, really. Oh my goodness. So good
Good
morning.
morning.
It's
It
Monday.
is Monday, June. Wait,
Wait.
June 5th, right?
Woo! Oh,
Woo.
is
God, I
it?
wanted,
Yeah,
yeah,
June
I
5th.
wanted to make it July for a second, but that's
Oh
just
no, no,
because
no,
I'm
no, no.
trying to
That's
get
too
to New
far
York.
ahead. That's too far ahead. Look, like I said, I've been stuck in January 2021 for like all this time. It's no, I don't like it. I don't like it that we're halfway through 2023 already. But that's what it is.
You want to get this party started?
Absolutely not. But hit it.
Ooh, I love your commercial.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm leaving this card up for just a second because I
Oh, okay.
coughed and my girls are not taped to the bra, so
Oh
I'm gonna
no.
make sure we don't give anybody some extra today.
Oh
All
no.
right, good
Right.
morning.
Yeah, but you kind of got that mesh thing going, so it's kind of like
And that mesh is just the right size for somebody to say good morning.
It's like automatic sensor bars, kind of, like the mosaic or something. So I think we're good. We're good. So good morning. Good morning, everyone, to another edition of the Rage Into the Vlogs show. Welcome. Who's joining us in the chat today?
So far, we've got Efrain and John Celestri, who wants to remind everybody his Kickstarter is now live, and that is Fire Fist Angel Book 1.
Oh,
good
there
morning,
you
Vestinia.
Go. Good morning. Haven't seen Vest in a while, but she's been busy. She's been very, very busy, like the rest of us. So I don't know why I get surprised when people kind of like go quiet for a bit. Because like, look, I was practically hiding under my desk too for a bit. So.
I missed you. And Allie's here. Good morning,
Allison. Yes, thinking of you this morning. I actually fired up Clip Studio Paint today, and I think I finally figured out how to open up a new document.
Woo!
I finally got over that hump. So definitely going to need more help for it later. But okay, so before Efrain rings the bell to remind me to get introductions going, hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing since 1992, self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which is on Kickstarter right now as we speak, with its first full color one-shot, Tall Tales or So I Thought. I'd like to thank the 60 backers who have supported the campaign so far, raising $1,593, getting me past over my goal, and we still have 25 days to go. So thank you so much for everybody who's backed the campaign so far. And I am also known for my mature audience's slice of life medieval fantasy, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which returns to Kickstarter with issue 7. Coming summer 2023, very soon, a lot sooner than expected, but we're all good. We're all good. But yes, coming back to Kickstarter. And this is the issue where all hell actually breaks loose for our wayward unicorn princess. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. You can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage, LAGE Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. And to tell you more about that, here's Nita.
My name is Nita Lanning. I am the producer of IndieComicsNetwork.com, which is a YouTube channel that has shows and stuff about, guess what? Indie comics.
Really?
We try.
We try. Yes, we do. We do. Yes, we do.
Yay!
Oh my goodness. And yes,
what is that, Lage?
That was a potato. I don't know. It was funny. It made me laugh. And yes, I do see you, the 9 people watching us from regions beyond, next to the giant eyeball on my screen. So yes, speaking of our YouTube channels, yes, so make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. And before I forget, especially now with all these Kickstarters, running, we have a coupon code. So send out all your comics in style, in pristine condition, to those hardworking pledgers that chose your campaign to spend their hard-earned money on. So use our coupon code RAGEN10 to get your Gemini mailers so that you can ship out everybody's books in pristine condition. And like I said, Gemini Comic Supply is exactly that. Not only do they have Gemini mailers, but they also have bags and boards and comic book boxes. So even if you're not running a campaign, I know you have books that you need to tidy up and put away and make sure that they're stored properly. So use our coupon code RAGE10 to get all the supplies you need to get all your comics that you're selling on Kickstarter or just enjoying for yourself. So 10% right there. Yes, I know. Well, we're going to be talking about that correction a little later on. There's a couple of things that I want to get into first because I mean, it's like, we did the show on Friday. If you missed Friday's show, there was some talk about misunderstanding Scott McCloud's tweet about not overworking your panels or whatnot, or worry about the nouns and verbs and not the adjectives. And a lot of people took that as permission to not study their craft, and I took exception to that. And there was something that I had said that Jose completely, after the show, he was like, wait, no, you are absolutely wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. And I will tell you why a little bit later, because you know what, I'm one to accept change. When somebody tells me that's like, no, you are incorrect in your assessment, it's like, oh, where am I now? I am willing to accept that. But like I said, we will discuss that more a little bit later in the show. So it'll be like like on the newspapers where they say, correction, today's correction to yesterday's article. So it's going to be like one of those. But I think the most exciting thing, because you know what, let's talk about the exciting things. I think the most exciting thing that definitely has happened yesterday, I finally finished coloring Eager Raven issue 7.
The issue that will make you want to leave Daphne.
Yes, I know. But you know what? Look, it'll be worth it. It will be worth it. Trust me on this. Issue 7 of Eager Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, is finally complete. I'm going over the color corrections right now because, when I'm printing, it's, when I'm looking at a printed version, I'm able to pick out the mistakes that except the Jose said, no, this one he actually explained. But so this is completely done. The problem is that I can't flip through it. I'm able to flip through it for you guys, for you to see, kind of like a sneak peek of what's coming up. But this particular issue, I can't really do that too. There's a lot going on in this issue, and we finally kind of got into heavy spoiler territory. So at least you get to enjoy those two little pages that I showed off, but that's kind of the extent of it. I am absolutely thrilled. I am giddy and exhausted at the same time. And just the fact it's issue 7, it's a milestone for me. Issue 7 marks the last issue that I had laid out years ago. I think it was back in probably before 2017, I think. And it's and I had the issues laid out until issue 7, and this is literally the last issue. Everything after this is brand spanking new. It's I have to think about it now. The layouts that I did, the layouts are done for issue 8, so that's next for me to start working on. But that's going to be issue 8 is going to mark the first issue that's technically really contemporary. Everything I've done from scratch, starting from a couple of months ago. So it's just weird finally getting to this point and being able to move on in the story where technically I last left off all those years ago. This is incredibly
also kind of your halfway point.
Yes, it is. For those who don't know, Eagle Raven Air the First Unicorn is a 15 by hook or by crook. It's a 15 issue series. And yeah, issue 7 is just, it is just at the halfway point, and it's like, yeah, now it's
And
full.
shit gets real, people.
Shit gets real. Yes. So, I'm not about writing a story about people giggling in coffee shops.
No.
So yes. So campaign. So that means that the campaign is still on schedule. And yeah, and as always, the book will be finished when the campaign starts. So when the campaign ends, within a couple of weeks, you'll have your books at your door. So yeah, because again, Hill, I will always die on. Have your books finished before you start a campaign. So not only that, but I am also again back full steam ahead on Medieval Unicorn Viking Slut, or the Unicorn King's Daughter campaign. And now it's like I'm going back to finishing that. I just finished I just finished the layouts for the adults only supplement that's going to be with that campaign.
It is adults only, people.
It is very adults only. It's going to be worth your money picking it up. If you're into that, of course. And yeah, this is going to be my first fully digital experiment. So I did all the layouts completely in Photoshop, and I'm just beginning to bring everything into Clip Studio Paint so that I can finally learn that goddamn program and ink those pages directly in Clip Studio so that I can finally learn the program, because I'm the type that you have to push me into the deep end for me to learn how to swim, and I really don't know how to swim. So when it comes to this, I'm pretty much yeah, it's like I'm diving into the deep end to Clip Studio, and yeah, I will be inking this book in Clip Studio, and then yeah, like I said, it's going to be my first fully digital comic, so I'm hoping, I'm pretty sure the experiment will work out so that I can take what I learn and use it on future issues as don't tempt me, Patrick, don't tempt me. And speaking of unicorns, so I just want to showcase a upcoming campaign that we knew, for those of you who have been watching these vlogs for a while back, that we interviewed Krista Crawford of Wolf and I, that she did, she was doing her comic at the time, Wolf and I, and she decided to move into prose writing again. That's what she started off doing, did Wolf and I as a comic, and then now she's coming back into prose writing. She already did a couple of books out, Clan of the Mist, and now she's putting out, and I think like in late September, she's going to be launching a campaign for her latest book, Sky of Thorns, which is a 3-volume book series. The link is in the show notes. Everything that I've mentioned so far, Tall Tales. Also, please remember that the Oswald Chronicles, I was there and I remember, issues 1 and 2 is also on Kickstarter as well. So the link is going to be in the show notes and in the chat as well. I think JD has, I think, like 9 or 8 days left to go on his campaign. So yeah, so while you're pledging to Tall Tales, or so I thought, go on over to the Oswald Chronicles and add to your JD Calderon collection of books. So there you have it. So yeah, so she's going to be releasing Sky of Thorns, her latest novel series, in late September, and it's like, and I wasn't familiar with her book. with this particular book, although she did catch my attention with, oh, do you like Narnia and the Last Unicorn? And I go, why, yes, I do, actually. Yes, I do. So I went over to her page to get to learn a little bit more. And this is the her post about Sky of Thorns. So the Sky of Thorns pre-launch page is live on Kickstarter. Like I said, the link is in the chat and will be in the show notes. And this is the promo for it. And all across the land there was peace, or so they thought. Living in the shifter kingdom of Kalistar, unicorn shifter Sybil is trying to find her place in the world. As the last of her kind and a half-trained healer, she hopes to be of service to her king and queen. But before she can find her true purpose, Sybil is violently kidnapped and whisked away to the kingdom of Shadowvale. Chained in a dungeon at the mercy of an evil queen, her only hope for salvation lies with the wizard prince, who has been raised to loathe her just for being a shifter. As Sybil begins to unravel all of the prince's deeply held beliefs, they realize something far more sinister is at play and war is on the horizon. With courage, resilience, and strength, the duo may be able to stop the war, but it will take more than a half-trained healer and a wizard prince to change the course of fate. Now, of course, I was not able to pass anything in this except because I was completely stuck at Unicorn Shifter. Yeah. Completely stuck at Unicorn Shifter. And it's like, you know what? I don't have to read anymore. I am in. So what I did was I contacted Krista through Facebook, and I go, look, us unicorn girls got to stick together. And after some back and forth, me and Krista, we will be doing an Eagle Raven and Sky of Thorns collaboration for the month of September and October, so that we're still figuring out like what we're going to do exactly, but definitely we're going to be doing something special that if you pledge to both of our campaigns during that time, that you will get something exclusive to promote, to backing both our campaigns. So even though this is going to be a novel, and I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be an illustrated novel as well. It's like, look, it's because for me, it's like, it doesn't matter. Comic, novel, I'll take it, So if you're the type that enjoys this type of work, this type of fantasy, and you enjoy my work and you want to try someone else's work that's kind of in a similar vein, this is going to be the campaigns to do it. So we still have some time. Like I said, her campaign starts end of September. Mine starts early October. Well, now pretty much I think I'm committed. So
yeah, now.
Right now, I'm pretty much committed. So if you pledge to both of our campaigns during that time, you are going to be getting a special something in exchange for that support. So so like I said, the link for the her pre-launch page is in the chat and the show notes. I'm very excited about this collaboration. Like I said, we're still kind of going back and forth as to like what we're going to be doing. I'm very excited about drawing her character, as she sent me like all this inspo and stuff, and I'm just very excited with where this collaboration is going to go, and it's just it's just a fun time all around. And speaking of novels, as somebody who has worked on a novel, and like a couple last year, I literally was stopping everything I was doing to write a novel for Eagle Raven. This is going to be a direct continuation of the 15-issue series that I'm working on right now. The novel is complete, but like with writing a novel, sometimes you just have to put it aside and kind of not think about it, let it kind of simmer a bit. so that when we get back to it, that we're able to kind of like edit it properly and whatnot. And me and Nita spoke about it the other day, and we finally have a schedule to start working on editing the book in earnest. So I'm very excited about it. So that's going to be, so it's back. Unicorn is definitely back on the menu. And, you know, and I'm really, really looking forward to really diving back into that project. Like I said, it's a direct sequel, but it's a prose illustrated novel, direct sequel to Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. It's Eagle Raven, Cult of the Wolf Witch. This is going to be the official introduction of Loki into the Eagle Raven canon, even though Medieval Unicorn Viking Slut technically does that. But this is the book that explains how that pairing ends up happening. So I'm very, like, this is just another project I'm very excited to get started on. I wanted to get the initial editing done so I can kind of like commit to what illustrations I'm going to put in the novel. So it's like I said, is a lot of exciting things going on. It just feels like everything's coming together, and yeah, and it's just, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited.
So much going on.
It really is. It really is. I mean, Nita, I didn't even ask you. Look at me being all selfish. All selfish.
What?
What's going on with you? What's been happening the past couple of days? What's
work.
Oh, okay.
Just work. I've been knocking out some edits, trying to get caught up so that I can reread the book this weekend. That is my goal. Like if I feel like if I can get everything scheduled to where I have the time to sit down and read the book through without long breaks, because I mean, like, with everything that's going on over the past couple of months, it was like I read a chapter, then 3 weeks later read another one, then read 4, then C went to the hospital, and then like it was just like, it was so broken. So I want to be able to go through and get a better feel again. Vibe is definitely there though, Lage.
Oh, thank you. That's yeah, because it's like I told Nita that what I need first is a vibe check on the novel, and then we're going to start getting into kind of like, because I know like my grammar ticks that I have. I usually have a problem with getting my tenses, keeping my tenses consistent. That's kind of that, and maybe run-on sentences. I have a habit of probably using too many commas when I really should be breaking up sentences. So, so that's kind of what we're going to be looking for.
Patrick.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like a 300-page book. Why? What did Patrick say? Oh, well, it's like, look, it's like as somebody, especially at my age, although probably at any age now, it's kind of hard for me to like concentrate on anything that's kind of long term. So I understand what she means. It's like either I read a book in a really, really good stretch, or I end up like kind of like skipping too much time in between, and then I forget details, and then I have to go back and reread it anyway.
Right.
There's a couple of books over here that I'm still in the process of reading, and it's one of them I'm almost finished with. I mean, the details, it is kind of like a simple enough story that I didn't have to worry too much about forgetting details. But another book that I'm reading, I literally have to go back and start all over again because I don't remember enough of it in order to continue the rest of the book and kind of like keep in mind what's going on. So I completely understand that. And in this case too, we want to make sure that everything is fresh in our heads so that we can kind of like discuss the book correctly, and kind of like, and not go like, oh wait, I don't remember that, and like say I have to go back, it's like, so that way we still have it fresh and we're able to edit it correctly. And then I can go, and then once Nita's done with it, then I can go into the danger zone and hand it off to Jose to get that vibe check done.
Yeah.
To get his input on it. So yeah, so we need to just have everything fresh in our heads for that, even if there's something that's like not even 300, like just under 300 pages.
And that's why I ran the trailer for it this morning.
Yes, it's like it's definitely everybody's rocking and rolling. So another thing that I wanted to bring up. So yesterday, Jose had, JD had his show, Talking Comics on a Sunday. And if you missed it, it is in the playlists on the channel, on both our channel and JD Calderon's channel as well. You can watch it. You can watch it on either channel. Make sure you subscribe to both, though. And it just, what they were talking about was just coinciding with something that I had seen on Twitter. Again, it's like I like following Tyler Carpenter's Twitter feed because I get a lot of marketing advice from his feed that I try to incorporate into what I'm doing, because it's like, marketing is what we do. And any new / ideas that I've missed are always welcome because, getting brand new eyeballs on our stuff is hard enough as is. And anything that can kind of like smooth the path up a bit is always welcome. So this was the post that I saw the other day where he goes, dear creators, a lot of you are working really hard but not getting the results that you want. The problem is you're not working smart. Making comics is one thing. And remember, according to what I've read from Tyler, your comic is your product, but your content is your social media and your marketing presence. Who are you aiming your content to? Your book is your book. Your comic is your comic. But when it comes to marketing, you have to make sure that your content is aiming at the right people you want to eventually convert into buying your comic. So making comics is one thing, selling comics is another, and so marketing and so is marketing and building an audience. So these are two books that he suggested. One is called The 1 Hour Content Plan, and the other one is called The 1 Page Marketing Plan. I just bought these two books off of Amazon. I bought them for the Kindle, so both of these books cost me $7 to buy. So I'm going to hold on. Let's see. Will the share allow me to show the books? Let me see. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, here we go. So here's the 1 hour content plan. Right. And the next one is the 1 page marketing plan. And he also says, dear creators, please make acquiring and retaining an audience a priority. Otherwise, you are going to get left behind. And he says, I've had 6 creators in the last 48 hours ask me how they can be better marketers. And he says, start with these books at least to point you in the right direction. So that's what I did. Like I said, it cost me $7 to get both of these books on Amazon for the Kindle. So I'm going to be doing that because, and the reason why I bring that up is that now, mind you, remember, no book that's ever that talks about this stuff is going to give you a clear-cut path to what you need to do to get more eyes on your book. Everything has to be tailored to what you need to do, to what you're doing, what your situation is, and you have to adjust accordingly. But at least these books that Tyler's recommending, that I bought, like I said, they'll give you a plan that'll at least point you in the right direction. I haven't read the books yet. I know that he recommended these books to me when I was on his show a while back. So now I finally got the reminder. It's like, yes, you know what? You're right. I have to buy these books, which I did. So I will, go through these books, and I will kind of like give everybody an update as to how that's working out. Like, what is it that I'm learning from these books and whatnot. So back to Jose's show last night. So it kind of dovetailed into the conversation last night that he had with his panel about whether it's like it's like about like how do we as independent creators convince comic book shop retailers to see us as the future of the mainstream, I guess, as the future of their business, and is it even a future that they even want? I know that a lot of people were excited, or more like Schnadenfreude, with Image completely leaving Diamond, not only leaving Diamond, but refusing to have Diamond have any contact with their product at all anymore. I don't know if they were going exclusive, or they're just saying it's like, look, we're not with you guys anymore at all. So there was a lot of chatter about this is the indie comics chance, and this is our chance to really shine, that we'll be able to show Diamond and these retailers that independent comics is the way to go, that they can make money off of us and whatnot. And I had ended up reading an article soon after that about Diamond's strategy without Image. And the article was pretty much talking about how Image was kind of anticipating this for the last year at least. And this really didn't come as a surprise to them. And what is Diamond going to do without Image, without having like all the major companies exclusive to them, which they actually admitted. It's like, well, technically we never needed them to be exclusive. We make more money. We make a bigger profit being a secondary distributor to them than being a primary distributor to them. So technically they're making more money as they're ending up now than when they had these companies exclusive to them. Because they said that no matter what happens, comic book retailers, they want to deal with Diamond regardless. So even if they have to go through Penguin Putnam, they still want to have, that access to Diamond. So retailers are not, you see, the thing is that retailers are not abandoning Diamond. Retailers are still sticking with Diamond in terms of getting all their ancillary product. And when the representative was asked, like, what's the next step for Diamond, they said, well, we've had a very strong presence in the games and toy industries. So we have been a very, so that aspect of our distribution model that focuses on toys and games have always remained really strong. So we are going to concentrate more on that. And I had to start laughing at that because of all the chatter. Like I said, this is our chance to shine. And what Diamond is pretty much saying is that we would rather die in Funko Pops than consider indie comics viable products.
Funko Pops is dying in Funko Pops.
Yes, we're talking about a company that had to bury $30 million of their products in a sinkhole because it was cheaper than actually selling them at a deep discount or even giving them away.
Yeah, right.
And they would rather side with those people than ever say indie comics is the future of our distribution.
But that's none of my business.
Right, exactly. So yesterday there was the conversation about how, it's like, well, how do we get into retail, local shops and this, that, and the other thing? And here's the thing. If you've ever wanted to ask me that question, don't bother. Because I am the last person who will ever tell you that that the local comic book shop needs supporting. You know, I'm just going to be outright straight up about that. I have been pretty much banned from the Diamond catalog for long enough time that I learned how to deal with how to work around Diamond and not need the local comic book shop. In fact, it's like being in a comic book shop is not even on my list of things I need to do. I could care less about them, and they could care less about me. So at least the feeling is mutual. I remember at one time, I actually went around calling up every comic book shop in the metro area. I think some in New Jersey, some in Staten Island, every comic book store in the New York, New Jersey, Staten Island area. And only one of them said that he would be willing to take my books on consignment, but he's not going to do anything with it. It'll be my responsibility to keep track of the books. So pretty much all he would say, yeah, you can stick your books here. Not that I care. You know, so I got, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Everybody else either gave me a very, very polite fuck off, or they just outright said, if you're not in Diamond, we're not interested.
Huh.
So it's like, okay, then fuck you all then. I couldn't even get a comic book shop to take fucking postcards for my book to put it on their counter. Nobody in the store was able to make that executive decision as to whether my goddamn postcards could even be on their counter. So you know what?
So you mean we're not going to sit over here and sing the praises of supporting your local comic book shop?
Well, no, absolutely not. It's like, you know what? Honestly, fuck local comic book shops. They're not they're not important to me. And I find and honestly, you know, I mean, it's like, and I find that I think that a lot of people, they consider retailer, they talk about retailers the way incels talk about women. If only I could get that dumb bitch to date me, everything would be perfect. And that's not how that works.
That's what,
you know, right. You know, that it's like that people keep talking about your local comic book shops like there's some kind of gatekeeper to something, when all they are a glorified middleman to unsustainability. Because there's not, even if you were to get, it's like, oh, okay, great, I'm going to beg these comic book shops to carry like one or two of my comics that they're going to stick in a corner and not give a shit about, you know. Yeah, I know, right? I know. You know, and you know, and it's like, and I just, you know, it's like I said, if anything changed the industry, the independent comics industry, is Kickstarter and print on demand. You know, it's like those are the two things that actually change the industry. You know, the fact that I'm able to print as much as I do now is because of Kickstarter and print on demand. I mean, even without Kickstarter, the fact that I could print just enough books to sell at a convention if I wanted to, I mean, that in and of itself is a game changer. I don't need to have a basement full of you know, full of comics because I could only print 3,000 at a time, you know. So you know, so that so yeah, so that's the game changer. Being in comic book stores is a last ditch effort. That's when you just got shit to get rid of. You don't care if they're in stores, you know, because it's like the return on investment is so little that it's like, you know what, that's where those books that Tyler recommended comes in. I would rather spend that time building an audience online, building an audience outside of that system that'll follow me wherever I go, rather than every time I put out a book, I have to beg the same retailers to give me the time of day in their stores. You know, so it's not, you know, it's not worth it. It's not worth my time to even consider retail as a viable anything for me. So that's why when these books came up and this conversation came up, I was like, you know what, this is where I have to concentrate. More people are probably going to see my work on webtoons than they ever will walking into a comic book shop. Even if I could get a retailer to buy like more than 5 copies, it's like, okay, it's like I can work with webtoons. I can work with trying to convert that audience. I can't do anything in a shop where the owner only knows how to sell Marvel and DC only because he doesn't have to do anything with them. He doesn't. I mean, it's like that's it's like even Jose said on the show yesterday, they don't have to sell Marvel and DC. The shit sells on its own. They just have to put it on the shelf and that's it. They don't have to really think about what their customer wants or what they're interested in or what books, what are these indie comics? It's like, what books are, what books are available? What would my customer, they don't have time for that shit. You know what? And it's not even that they're not interested. They are not interested. And here's also the thing too. If I have to be in a retailer's face to convince him to carry my book, I don't need to be there, because honestly, it's like my book needs to be able to sell itself on a certain level because I can't be everywhere. I physically cannot be everywhere, and so my book, I have to get my book to a point where I don't need to be there. Because what happens when I leave the store? So it's like, okay, I'm in this retailer's face and he buys 5 copies. I'm not going to stay in the store convincing his customer base why they should check out any of my books. That's not feasible. And then it's like, that's a lot of work to sell, so little books. I mean, I'd rather be at a convention for that. You can go to a convention and do that. At least you'll have a better time at a convention. At least that's the idea, So yeah, so it's like, so if you want to hear more about that conversation, you can watch his show. You can watch his show on that he did yesterday, where they're all talking about their experiences. But honestly, me personally, I mean, like I said, it doesn't even compute. It doesn't relate. Diamond has nothing to do with me. What's going on with Diamond? It's like, no, this is not a renaissance for indie comics. Like I said, these honestly, they would rather have more Funko Pops and Magic the Gathering than more indie comics. I mean, you see, and that's honestly, yeah, it's like libraries are probably a better solution than comic book shops. Honestly, it's just that getting into libraries, it is extremely difficult. Most of the time, you need to be with a publisher to do it because the distributors that specialize in that. They don't deal with individual creators. So I'm not familiar with that part of the process. So make sure you do your research on it. It's not about going into your local library and saying, here's, I have these comics. Can you, do you want them in your library? Most of the time they have to go through very specific distributors to get in on the shelves, so that's how I felt about the show yesterday. And remember, you know what, Nita, hit that disclaimer.
No, Lage. What?
Yeah, hit that disclaimer, because you know what? It's like, look, yes, what I have said up until this point is just my opinion on this. Like I said, if this is something that you had wanted to ask me about what my opinion was about it, here it is. If you want actual advice on how to break into Diamond and all that, this is not the place to do it, because I'm not going to give you that advice.
And just like the variant cover rant, people, please Not all local comic book shops.
All of them. Fuck it.
No, because we actually have one guy out here, which is really odd because we only have two really local, and there's several a little further south, but he is definitely in support of like
Right.
local artists, indie comics, and his shop does have a significant number,
Right. Okay.
but one.
Okay. You know, so yeah, so like I said, take my information as you will. Like, just remember that it is my opinion. If you disagree with that, that's fine. Go do you. I'm going to instead be reading these two books that Tyler recommended, and I'm going to be working a little bit harder on building my online audience presence, rather than worrying about that side of the industry that has nothing to do with me. So yeah. So yes, speaking, yeah, so speaking of opinions, wrong opinions. Speaking of wrong opinions, so yes, so this is where we come to the correction, the correction page, the correction all the way at the bottom of the newspaper. So yeah, so on Friday I had made the comment about, if you are not going to work on your craft as an artist, then you better work on your craft as a writer, because I had said something to the effect of how, um if you're, that good writing, that oh that good that good writing will save bad art. And remember, there is a difference between art that is an aesthetic style that you do not like, or do not favor, and there's a difference between that and absolutely inept artwork. Okay, now let's remember that, that you can hate an aesthetic, but there is always artwork that you can tell that was done by an amateur, that they still need to work on their foundational work. Like they're like it's so not ready for prime time. They don't even have a style yet.
Huh.
It's like, that's kind of, so yeah, so remember, that's the difference that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, like, if say you don't like Frank Miller's current work, that's an aesthetic dislike, but it's not a foundational dislike. Frank Miller is the last thing anyone can call Frank Miller is inept. So that's not what I'm talking about. So I had said that that good writing will at least save bad artwork. And after I got off the air, JD Jose was incredibly adamant that I was absolutely wrong about that assessment. And as someone who does read significantly more comics than I do, he explained it to me. The only way good writing can overcompensate for really bad artwork is if your name is Neil Gaiman. Unless your name is Alan Moore. Unless your name already is recognized as a good writer, that no matter what, he will power through heinous artwork, just to read the book, because the writer means something. If you are a nobody, you do not have this luxury. So the correction is that good writing will not save bad art. In fact, bad art will actually destroy good writing. So even if you consider yourself an incredible writer, please be very careful with whose artwork you associate with, I guess. Is the is the correction here, because like Jose said, unless he already knows your artwork, I mean, unless he already knows your writing, if you pair yourself with really bad artwork, he will never read your work. Maybe he'll power through a couple of pages, but really, really bad artwork will actively discourage people from reading your work. And think about it. And even I had to sit back and think about it, because it's like I wanted to give the writer a lot more credit, but I mean, I really had to sit back and think about it. It's like, yeah, there have been comics that I don't read because the artwork is such a put off that, you know what? It's like, this is a comic book medium. This is a visual medium. So, both things have to work in conjunction with each other. And if you kind of don't work in one segment, the other is not going to work either. So it's like, yeah, so I could think of several books that I couldn't read because the artwork was such a put off. And I'm talking about, this is all like mainstream stuff that I'm thinking about. It's like, going through, which is why I also, another reason why I don't like comic book shops, because I never liked the Marshalls aspect of it. Marshalls, the discount clothing store, where it's like nothing is ever organized. You just have to kind of like pick through things to find the things that you like. And I never really liked that. I never liked the fact that, I mean, it's like I've always lamented how comic book shops were never organized like a bookstore, like according to genre, according to like it's, according to interest. Instead, it's like, well, you kind of got to know what the company is releasing already. And it's like, so when I have to kind of like pick through books, the artwork's the first thing I see. So if the artwork is a put off, it could be something that could push all my buttons, but it's like if that artwork is a put off, you've lost half the battle right there. So yeah. So and like there was one particular book that he read, beautiful Terry Dodson work in it. And Jose said that he picked up the book because of Terry Dodson. I mean, I would have picked up the book because of Terry Dodson. And he said it was the absolute stupidest story he has ever read. And he's read a lot of books. And mind you, I sometimes, poke Jose about how forgiving he is with a lot of media. So for him to outright say this is the stupidest shit I've ever read, that's saying a lot, because like I said, he's very forgiving. I think, in a lot of places where I think they don't deserve it, but that's just the way he is, because he always talks about how, because I could always get something out of it. It's kind of like when we talk about the Star Wars prequels, so he said that but he said he doesn't completely mind having the book because at least he has Terry Dodson's artwork to look at, right? The only reason he collects Sandman, well, certain issues of he has them in his collection, was because Neil Gaiman, he hates the artist, this particular artist in a lot of Neil Gaiman's Sandman work, but he keeps it because of Neil Gaiman. There is not one book in his collection that he keeps because it's a really good read, but he hates the artwork. So yes, so that is my so yes, I was wrong, or at least I'm willing to be wrong on this. When I said on Friday that good writing can save bad artwork, the correction is the answer is no. It will not, because Nita, I mean, do you have a book that you absolutely hate the artwork for, but you keep it because it's a good read?
No.
Right.
Absolutely not. Yeah. But I do have a couple books with missed stories and really good artwork.
Yeah, but it's the good artwork that you can still kind of latch on to. I mean, I have a bunch of books here that I've never read, never bothered reading, but I keep it for the artwork. It's like, and there's absolutely nothing about the writing that makes me think I'm missing anything. like I'll read a couple of pages or whatnot. It's like, oh yeah, that's why I don't read it. And and that's the
But
type
look at the pretty colors.
yeah, pretty much, because it's like I said, this is a visual medium. So yeah, so it's like artwork. It's like, yeah, it's like, you have all this discourse about, oh, writers are like, you can't have, it's the writer that does all the heavy lifting and this, that, and the other thing. And artists are just leeches. Or depending on who you're talking to, it's the writers that are just leeches, and it's the artwork that carries the book and whatnot. And what's funny is that maybe on a certain level they're right. I don't know. It's like, it's just that you have to get, if you're a writer, you have to, it's like you have to be very conscious about who you team up with, in order to make sure that your writing shines just as much as the artwork. Because it's like, if you're just hooking up with people because all you can afford, you are doing yourself a disservice.
Right.
Because yeah, it will affect you. And and it's going to take, and you know what? Do you really want to be the writer of, well, they always team up with kind of like really questionable artists, so I don't know, so I don't really care to find out what I'm missing out in the writing. It's like, you want people to want to be excited with your work. And yeah, and if you're in comics, doubly so. Because also another thing that Jose said, that it's like, look, it's like, if you think you're that good of a writer and you don't need good artwork to carry your book, go write prose. Go write prose instead. What's stopping you? It's like, all these writers are saying, oh, I can't afford an artist and this, that, and the other thing. And Jose's like going, then go write a book. What do you need to be in comics for if if the artwork is kind of getting in the way of what you want, of the story you want to tell? Go write prose. So yeah, I mean, the whole
to an extent, but I will disagree, only because there are books that the art has been so bad that I couldn't suffer the story, so I got rid of them. But there's never been a book that was poorly written that I appreciated the art that I threw away.
Right.
But I'm a cunt like that, so.
Well, because there's a similar thing that happened. Artists, right? Of course they do. Of course, But I think that in something like comics, you have to really mesh. You have to mesh for it to work in this medium, or else, it's kind of like what we were talking about in publishing. How it's like, remember, like how much of our reading lessened over the years because they stopped using paintings for covers. It's like I'm pretty sure, like I remember a conversation with Mercedes Lackey. I forgot the name of the artist. It was Joyce something who did her covers. And the publisher constantly insisted to the artist, you have to keep, it's like, I guess she wanted to do like a different layout where there were no horses on the cover, because that was like kind of the series that Mercedes Lackey was doing. And the publisher says, don't you fucking dare. It's like, we need the horses on the cover because that's what gets the books into readers' hands, and then they'll enjoy the story. So it was like that, like the covers themselves was part of the marketing for fantasy novels. That's, and I think that ever since they started using stock imagery of the same sword with the same lightning bolt filter or whatnot, that I do think it's not a coincidence that with the advent of those types of those types of covers, away from painted covers and the downward trend in sales, I don't know. That might be something I might be pulling out of my ass, but I really do think there's a connection there.
I do want to acknowledge what Jody said here. He
Right.
said, question, is this why more of the well-known creators tend to be one-man armies? Okay, here's the thing. Dude, I don't know any creator that's a one-man army.
No, that's
not
true.
in mainstream. In mainstream, you got the big label and a whole corporation behind you.
Yeah.
You've got your marketing teams, etc. And when it comes to indies, the well-knowns, they have cult followings.
Yeah. Again, building that audience.
Right.
You know? I mean, it's like, and also one last thing I wanted to mention before we go, because we're already like a little past the top of the hour. I just want to thank White Manga for his not his latest video, but a couple of videos before. He talked about how he was able to do like 150 pages in like 150 pages in like a month or something. And the first thing out of his mouth when I clicked on the link is he thanked his assistants. He has like 3 or 4 drawing assistants that he utilizes to do his manga, to be able to meet. I don't know if these are self-imposed deadlines for Apple Black, or whether Saturday AM has a publishing schedule that he has to keep. But yeah, he could just as easily have pretended that he does the book by himself, but no, he outright said he has a team of people working for him, he does pretty much the layouts and the main characters, and then his assistants, they ink in the backgrounds, they fill in the detail and whatnot, and that's how he's able to do that much work and keep it well, yeah, it's yes. I forgot the name of the book. I know which one. They're actually number 2 behind. I think it was like Nerds of the Round. No. No, that's a podcast. It's a role kind of. It's a stick figure role playing game thing. It came in second. If you look at the most fulfilled, most funded campaigns on Kickstarter of all time, right behind Keanu Reeves is that stick figure book. And that's because they've been building their audience for decades.
Right.
So in the end, that tells me that's where all our effort has to be in, building that audience. So it's like, so that everything else kind of like falls into place. But, it requires order of the stick. That's it. Yeah. It's like, it just goes to show you there's no magic bullet. You have to work at this. You have to work at your craft. You have to work on your marketing. You can't depend on local comic book shops to save you, because they're not saving you. They're letting you drown, and they don't care. It's like you have to be able to build this, and think about what it is you have to build if you want to reach whatever it is that you want to gain out of this industry. So it's hard work. That's what it is. Sorry, everybody. There's nothing more to say, is that you have to bust your ass to make this work, and there's no way around it. So sorry, not sorry. So here we are, a little past the top of the hour. So Nita, you have any final thoughts about any of this? It's kind of, I have to, maybe I should apologize a little bit for being a little cranky, but I'm having the post-finished comic downturn, so I got to get back to I got to get back to back on track with my work, so that maybe be less crabby later. But you have any final thoughts about this, Nita?
Tune in tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, because Chad Perkins and C. Michael will be coming on with their first episode of Build a Comic Workshop. And tune in this afternoon for Fike It, Let's Draw at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Yes, there we go. So more. So if you want more positive musings, go check out those shows. Like I said, I'm in a mood, so that's how it goes. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you to the 10 people who made it to the end of the episode. Hey, what can I say? I don't know. But thank you so much for watching us from regions beyond. And joining us today. So that's it for this Monday. Thank you so much for joining us. And yes, and if you want to see more of my work and check out more of my campaigns and whatnot, you're going to head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook. If you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress updates, and remember that you can check me out on YouTube, on my channel at Daphne Lage Art, Lage, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. And remember, you can also read Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link to Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears of the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this Monday. At least a nice day over here. Hopefully you guys have an easy rest of the week. And remember, in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, both literally and figuratively. And you got to do the work. Sorry, kids, do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. But trust me on this one, it's worth every blood, sweat, tears. It's worth the whole thing. Do the work. There is no easy answer, but you know what? You don't want the easy answer. You want to. It's worth it. Just trust me on this. It's worth it. So we'll see you again on Friday at 11 a.m. Thank you so much. Then see you later.
Bye.